Good evening. You are watching EmoNews for June 9th, 2026 with your presenter, Soana Gordon. In tonight's headlines, United States supports Dominica's hurricane preparedness efforts. Dominica strengthens climate resilience efforts at Regional Climate Finance Workshop. Caribbean forensic experts gather in Jamaica for biennial conference. Federal judge blocks Trump's 100,000 H-1B visa fee requirement. And tensions remain high as Israel strikes Lebanon amid ongoing Iran conflict. Stay tuned for the details of the news. To begin local news, Dominica was represented at the regional workshop Prosperity on Our Terms, a Caribbean agenda for climate finance access and loss and damage, held in Barbados from May 28th to the 29th. Representing the country were Daniel Pemberton, Lisana Dyer, and Liam Sebastian, who joined delegates from across the Caribbean in discussions aimed at improving access to climate finance and advancing solutions to address loss and damage caused by climate change. The workshop, organized by the Climate Vulnerable Forum, brought together representatives from climate vulnerable nations to help shape a stronger and more equitable climate finance agenda that reflects the unique realities and priorities of developing countries. Participants explored strategies to secure greater financial support for climate adaptation and resilience initiatives, while advocating for fair and accessible funding mechanisms for nations disproportionately affected by climate change. As one of the world's leading climate-resilient nations, Dominica continues to play an active role in regional and international climate discussions. The country's participation underscores its commitment to advocating for increased support, stronger partnerships, and innovative financing solutions to help protect communities, ecosystems, and livelihoods from the growing impacts of climate change. Liam Sebastian spoke to EmoNews about the importance of such workshops.
So it was just basically fact-finding, getting information as to, where we are, where we ought to be, some of the resources that are available, how to access the resources in the event of a disaster, and also getting feedback from the country in general as to what other measures they take in the event that they need to seek climate finance and all of that. So it's something that is really needed, but one of the major issues that we have is drawing down the funding in a timely manner to mitigate against some of the issues that we have. And these are some of the things that I think they understand, and it's just about getting some of the other countries to join onto that workshop that we were part of. So it was beneficial, I would say, but it's still a lot of work to be done if we are to get where we have to get to in terms of accessing resources and all of those different things that relates to climate change and the environment in general.
The Commonwealth of Dominica is actively participating in the 64th sessions of the subsidiary bodies, SB 64, of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, being held in Germany from June 3rd to the 20th. Representing Dominica at the International Climate Negotiations are Edgar Hunter, Senior Technical Advisor and UNFCC National Focal Point, and Mrs. Alice Charles, Kalinago Development Officer within the Ministry of Environment. As part of Dominica's delegation, Hunter is participating in key meetings and negotiations of the Group of 77 and China, contributing to discussions on climate finance, adaptation, mitigation, technology transfer, capacity building, and the implementation of the Paris Agreement. His participation ensures that the interests and concerns of developing countries are represented in global climate discussions. Mrs. Charles is engaged in negotiations, consultations, and side events focusing on gender and climate change, indigenous peoples, and the alliance of small island states. Her involvement reflects Dominica's commitment to ensuring that climate action remains inclusive and responsive to the needs of women, indigenous communities, and other vulnerable groups. SB 64 serves as a critical platform for advancing global climate action and shaping future climate policies and commitments. The conference brings together governments, international organizations, scientists, indigenous representatives, youth leaders, and civil society stakeholders to address the growing challenges posed by climate change. Now let's hear from Mrs. Charles.
So far, the delegation, we have been actively engaged in negotiations and consultations covering key issues such as climate finance, adaptation, gender and climate change, indigenous peoples, capacity building, and support for small island developing states. Through our participation in AOSIS, the Alliance of Small Island States, the negotiating groups where Dominica is part of, continues to advocate for ambitious climate action and greater support for vulnerable countries on the front line of climate change. While these discussions are still ongoing, the meetings so far have provided valuable opportunities for us to strengthen partnerships, contribute to important policy discussions, and ensure that Dominica's priorities and perspectives are represented at the global level. Of course, we look forward to the remaining days of negotiations and to advancing outcomes that support climate resilience and sustainable development for Dominica and the wider Caribbean by extension.
The United States continues to support Dominica's disaster preparedness efforts as the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season gets underway. As part of ongoing cooperation between the two countries, U.S. Embassy official Brett Hernandez recently delivered first aid kits to the Office of Disaster Management in Dominica. The donation is aimed at strengthening the country's emergency response capabilities and enhancing readiness for potential disasters. In addition to the donation, the U.S. Army Civil Affairs team conducted casualty care training for local personnel, providing valuable skills and knowledge to assist first responders and emergency management officials during times of crisis. Through continued collaboration between the United States and Dominica, both countries are working to strengthen emergency response systems, enhance preparedness measures, and improve resilience in the face of future challenges. The Ministry of Agriculture, with support from the Food and Agricultural Organization Technical Cooperation Program, held a training session on practical integrated crop management, improving crop performance through irrigation, fertigation, and nutrient management. Farmers from across Dominica, as well as extension officers, participated in the training. The participants described the program as a beneficial and rewarding experience. Let's hear from a few of them now.
Jeffrey Bruni with Kubuli Farms. I'm a farmer, entrepreneur.
Okay, so tell us about your experience here today.
I think this session here today was very essential. I mean, giving farmers, introducing farmers to new fertilizers and new systems. I think it's essential to go through some training so at least people can use that in the in the best way for it to you know not just for their own use, but also they can pass that knowledge over to other farmers as well.
Okay, and how do you see it benefiting or being applicable to you and your area of interest?
Yeah, well, I already use a lot of that, and I've been for a number of years. But there's always new things on the market, and I was happy to see some new systems and all of that. And I think it's good to know because you're not always on top of things. So it's good when those times come that you can see there's this on the market, there's the new fertilizer, there's so I think that's going to be very, very beneficial to us at Kubuli Farms.
Thank you.
And in exciting news, 7-year-old Kylie Badwill, Miss Oleander, is the winner of the Little Miss Summer Blooming Beauties pageant held last Friday on the grounds of the St. Martin Primary School. The youngest of the 5 participants, Kylie was consistent in all the rounds and walked away with the crown. The first runner-up position went to Cornelia Valmore, Miss Periwinkle, and the second runner-up was Joyanne Later, Miss Hibiscus. The contestants competed in 6 rounds: speech, talent, summer wear, spectacular wear or costume, summer party dress or evening wear, and question and answer. Miss John Lewis, one of the teachers/coordinators, expressed her thanks to all who contributed to the success of the show. Congratulations once again to Miss Kylie Badwill. And finally, in local news this evening, preliminary results are in from the Marigot Village Council elections, which were held yesterday. Of the 8 candidates who contested the election, the top 5 candidates with the highest number of votes will form part of the new council. First-time candidates and the youngest contestant, Nadisha Felix, secured the highest number of votes with 115. She was followed by Brian Linton with 108, Peterson Thomas with 91, Claire Bedminister with 89, and Marietta Gordon with 87 votes. These 5 elected members will be joined by 3 government-appointed nominees to complete the council. EmoNews spoke with top vote recipient Nadisha Felix following her victory.
I feel honored and grateful for the confidence that the people of the community have placed in me. Receiving the most votes is humbling, and it motivates me to work even harder on behalf of everyone. I decided to participate because I have a genuine passion for community development and a desire to contribute to positive change. As someone who lives and raises a family in this community, I understand many of the challenges we face and want to be part of finding solutions. I hope to help improve the quality of life for residents through initiatives that support youth development, community engagement, infrastructure improvement, and opportunities for families. I also want to encourage greater participation in community activities and decision making. Yes, I was pleasantly surprised. While I worked hard and hoped to earn community support, receiving the most votes exceeded my expectations. It shows that the people believe in my vision and commitment. If given the opportunity and the support of my fellow council members, I would be willing to serve as chairperson. I would approach a role with dedication, openness, and a commitment to working collaboratively for the benefit of the entire community. I would like to sincerely thank everyone who supported me and participated in the election process. Being a single mother has taught me resilience, responsibility, and importance of hard work. I hope to bring those qualities to my role on the council and work together with residents to build a stronger, more vibrant community for all. Thank you.
That's it for local news this evening. We'll be right back with regional news.
Celebrate this Father's Day with us on Saturday, June 20th. It's game time at Blast Bistro.
Father's Day special idea.
Bring dad or step up as dad in the father and son or father versus father domino showdown. Starting 5 p.m. sharp, enjoy live sports, old school hits, and pure Caribbean vibes. Grab the daddy combo. 6 beers, 8 wings for just $50.
Grab it.
Plus, shots 2 for $10, rum punch specials, and beer buckets with prizes to be won.
Prizes too.
Don't miss the action, only at Blast Bistro. Come for the game, stay for the land.
I am that.
In regional news, the Caribbean Association of Forensic Sciences Biennial Conference is underway in Jamaica, bringing together forensic experts, researchers, law enforcement officials, and security professionals from across the region. Held under the theme Forensic Science and Public Safety, a Caribbean Journey, the conference is examining the role of forensic science in strengthening security, advancing justice, and improving public safety. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Jamaica's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Oris Chang, highlighted the country's investment in forensic technology and infrastructure to support criminal investigations and law enforcement. The conference is also providing a platform for regional and international experts to discuss advancements in forensic technology, digital forensics, crime scene investigations, and scientific evidence in criminal proceedings. Organizers say the event promotes knowledge sharing, professional development, and stronger collaboration among forensic practitioners across the Caribbean. And in Trinidad and Tobago, the Central Statistical Office is working on improving the measurement of poverty via the development of the country's first National Multidimensional Poverty Index, the MPI. Late last month, the Central Statistical Office, CSO, held a specialized 5-day workshop aimed at strengthening evidence-based policymaking on the topic. According to a release from the CSO, for decades, poverty management in Trinidad and Tobago has relied primarily on monetary indicators based on income and consumption. While these measures remain important, they do not fully reflect the lived realities of deprivation experienced by many individuals and households. The Multidimensional Poverty Index offers a more comprehensive approach by examining multiple aspects of well-being, including education, health, housing conditions, employment, and access to essential services. The workshop, the CSO said, is part of a national initiative to develop a TNT-specific MPI that reflects a country's unique social and economic realities. Officials in the Ministry of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development said developing a national multidimensional poverty index will enable Trinidad and Tobago to move beyond identifying who is poor to understanding how people experience poverty. This deeper understanding will support more targeted interventions, better resource allocation, and more effective social policies that improve the lives of our citizens. And finally, in regional news, also in Trinidad and Tobago, more than 40 vendors operating at the cross-crossing vending zone in San Fernando have sought legal advice after receiving notice that they will be barred from selling for 2 weeks to facilitate maintenance works in the area. The vendors, who say they depend on daily sales to support their families and employees, met with an attorney yesterday and are exploring the possibility of obtaining a cease and desist injunction to prevent the San Fernando City Corporation from removing their carts and temporary structures. The move comes after they were invited to a meeting with corporation officials to discuss the matter, but were later informed that the officials were unavailable. The corporation recently issued a notice advising vendors that the entire cross-crossing vending zone will be closed from June 10th to the 24th to facilitate cleaning, line marking, and drainage works near the popular food strip. Vendors were instructed to remove all carts and temporary structures and refrain from conducting business during the period. And that's it for regional news. We'll be right back with international news. Internationally, a U.S. federal judge has struck down a policy introduced by President Donald Trump that required employers to pay a $100,000 fee for H-1B visa applications. Judge Leo Sorokin ruled that only Congress has the authority to impose taxes and make major changes to immigration policy, stating that the president lacked the power to implement the fee. The policy was challenged by a coalition of Democratic state attorneys general who argued it was unlawful. The H-1B visa program allows U.S. employers to hire highly skilled foreign workers in specialized fields such as healthcare, technology, engineering, and finance. The ruling is a significant setback for the administration's efforts to tighten employment-based immigration rules and is expected to impact businesses that rely on skilled foreign workers. And finally, in international news, tensions remain high in the Middle East as Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon reportedly killed at least 8 people in the city of Tyre, despite calls from U.S. President Donald Trump for restraint. Trump says a potential peace agreement with Iran is nearing completion and could be reached within days as diplomatic efforts continue. Meanwhile, Palestinian officials report that 9 fishermen were detained by the Israeli Navy off the coast of Gaza while working at sea. In a separate development, Iran's Football Federation has accused the United States of withdrawing World Cup ticket allocations for Iranian supporters. A United Nations-mandated commission has also warned that civilians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank continue to face worsening humanitarian conditions amid ongoing violence and instability. International leaders are continuing to call for dialogue and measures to prevent further escalation across the region. And that's it for international news this evening. We'll be right back with the sports report.
New game in town. Get ready to match 5 and you can win 10K. Let's go. Play with just $2. Match 5 numbers from 1 to 29 to win. Draws every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. It's easy, fun, and local. Match 5, your local jackpot game. Dominican National Lottery.
First up in sports news, the 2026 National Volleyball League delivered plenty of excitement over the weekend. On Saturday, Sunrise won 2 thrilling 5-set matches, defeating R&D Academy in both the women's division and men's division 1. However, the R&D Academy bounced back with a 3-1 victory over Sunrise in the men's division 2. On Sunday, Club 1 dominated the Celtics, completing a clean sweep of the matchup. The women fought back from 2 sets down to win 3-2, while the men secured a convincing 3-0 victory. An action-packed start to the season with comebacks, 5-set thrillers, and strong performances, setting the stage for an exciting league campaign. The ENET National Squash Championship 2026 wrapped up on Sunday at the National Racquet Center in Georgetown, Guyana, with top players competing for national titles. In the women's elite division, Ashley Khalil claimed her 5th senior national championship, defeating longtime rival Mary Fongafat in a thrilling 5-set match. In the men's elite division, Daniel Innes secured the national title with a straight sets victory. For those of you who may be wondering, what is this sport? Well, squash is a fast-paced indoor racket sport played by either 2 players, singles, or 4 players, doubles, in a 4-walled court. Players take turns hitting a small rubber ball against the front wall using a squash racket. After the ball hits the front wall, it may rebound off the side or back walls before the opponent returns it. The ball is allowed to bounce on the floor once before being returned. A player wins a rally if the opponent fails to make a valid return, lets the ball bounce twice, hits it out of bounds or interferes with play. There are about 20 million people who play squash regularly worldwide in over 185 countries. The governing body of squash, World Squash, is recognized by the International Olympic Committee, and the sport will be included in the Olympic Games starting in the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. There is also a professional squash association. And in cricket news, Cricket West Indies has named a 15-member squad for the upcoming 3-match T20 International Series against Sri Lanka, set for June 11th, 13th and 14th at Sabina Park in Jamaica. Young batters Akim August and Joel Andrew, along with all-rounder Shama Springer, have earned call-ups, while fast bowler Alzari Joseph has been rested as part of workload management plans. Head coach Darren Sammy says the series is an important opportunity to build on the team's recent performances and continue preparations for the 2028 T20 World Cup. Shai Hope will captain the West Indies with experienced players Jason Holder, Shimron Hetmyer, Rovman Powell, Akil Jose and Romario Shepherd included in the squad. Fast bowler Shama Joseph is expected to rejoin the team ahead of the series after returning home for personal reasons. And finally, in local athletics news, athletes from the Westmore Rangers Athletics Club continued their dominance in the throwing events. Westmore Rangers participated in the Interleague competition in Guadeloupe on Saturday, 6 June, and returned home with some impressive results. Alika St. John came first in shot put and second in discus, with season-best performances of 11 meters and 42.43 meters respectively. Nathan Telemark came first in high jump with 1.90 meters recorded. Nicole Williams came first in javelin in the under-18 girls with a throw of 33.13 meters. Jamichael Teat came second in shot put with a personal best of 12.97 meters and fifth in discus with a personal best of 43.39 meters. Liana Daru came third in high jump with 1.45 meters and eighth in long jump. Nathaniel Roberts came fifth in javelin with a throw of 45.17 meters. Congratulations to the athletes and to their coach. EmoNews wishes them all the best as they continue to prepare for more tournaments. And that's it for tonight's sports report. We'll be right back with the weather. This has been Emo Nightly News for June 9th, 2026. I am your presenter, Soana Gordon. Thank you for watching and have yourself a lovely evening. Until next time, goodbye.